Mhm. It's time to rise and shine, people. If I'm up, you should be up. Okay. Anyway, good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions. We call it that because, well, everything we do in life requires us to make one. And even if we decide not to make one, well, we just made one. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. I think it's raining outside right now, but we'll talk about all that when we get this thing rolling this morning. So it's time to rise and shine. Believe it or not, it is the 14th day of January 2006. It is a day that has never been, and it is a day, believe it or not, that once it's gone, it won't ever be again. You don't get a do over. You don't get to come back and undo the things that you do today. You certainly don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. You don't get a second chance at it. So, whatever you do with this day, the 14th day of January 2026, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. It's time to rise and shine. Time to get up. It's time to talk about it. Whatever it is that you want to talk about. Or maybe you just want to talk to me because you feel like I'm your friend. We'll talk about that later.
We change the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
And good morning, everybody. You know what time it is? It is time for our daily bread. A word from on high, something that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. But either way, it's good for the soul. Good morning. It is January the 14th, 2026 AD. Next up, it's our daily bread. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. And then we'll get back to talking about what we talk about, whatever that is. It's early in the morning, so who knows what comes up. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine.
Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy you make in the tapestry of life.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading, titled God's Protection, was written by Monica LaRose. Needles, milk, mushrooms, elevators, births, bees, and bees in blenders. These are just a fraction of the many phobias attributed to Mr. Adrian Monk, detective and title character of the TV show Monk. But when he and longtime rival Harold Crenshaw find themselves locked in a car trunk, Monk has a breakthrough that allows him to cross off at least one fear from his list: claustrophobia. It's while Monk and Harold are both panicking that the epiphany comes, abruptly interrupting Monk's angst. "I think we've been looking at this the wrong way," he tells Harold. "This trunk, these walls, they're not closing in on us. They're protecting us, really. They're keeping the bad stuff out, germs and snakes and harmonicas." Eyes widening, Harold sees what he means and whispers in wonder, "This trunk is our friend." In Psalm 63, it's almost as if David has a similar epiphany. Despite being in a dry and parched land, when David remembers God's power, glory, and love, it's as if the desert transforms into a place of God's care and protection. Like a baby bird hiding in the shelter of a mother's wings, David finds that when he clings to God, even in that barren place, he can feast, as with the richest of foods, finding nourishment and strength in a love that is better than life. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is Psalm 63. You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you in a dry and parched land where there is no water. I have seen you in the sanctuary and beheld your power and your glory. Because your love is better than life, my lips will glorify you. I will praise you as long as I live, and in your name I will lift up my hands. I will be fully satisfied as with the richest of foods. With singing lips my mouth will praise you. On my bed I remember you. I think of you through the watches of the night. Because you are my help, I sing in the shadow of your wings. I cling to you. Your right hand upholds me. Those who want to kill me will be destroyed. They will go down to the depths of the earth. They will be given over to the sword and become food for jackals. But the king will rejoice in God. All who swear by God will glory in him, while the mouths of liars will be silenced. Let's pray. Loving Creator, Sustainer, and Nourisher, thank you for the miraculous way your love seeps into our heart, even in the most difficult places, transforming them into the shelter of your wings. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
That's right. That's our own kid singing it. Right here in Montgomery, Alabama. on, ladies and jarheads. Okay, that's enough of that. That's good. That's good. We're good. We're good on that. I tell you, sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. You know what I mean? But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Okay. Anyway, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. It's what time? What time is it? Oh, here's the lesson of life today. Because y'all need to know this. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people, especially people who think they're smart. Okay. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. My name was Brillo Pad yesterday. You know, I was on him. I was on him like a Brillo pad on a bad sink. Uh, However, he held his own. He held his own. I mean, he held his own. See, we don't have to agree with one another. We just gotta be, responsible. About disagreeing. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, what is the lesson of life today? Well, here it is. Knowledge by itself is not power. Let me say that one more time. Knowledge by itself is not power. Okay? I just want to make sure. Did you get that? Knowledge by itself is not power. It is the application of that knowledge is where the power lies. It is like being able to fly without the ability to land. Okay, so you know how to fly. But if you don't know how to land, like the World Trade Centers were, somebody's gonna get hurt. Okay, okay, you will be injured. And the word of the day is recondite, and it just means rather difficult to understand. I guess I'm sort of recondite. Listen. I always got red meat. Okay, don't even worry about it. I got something to talk about today that's gonna make some happy, some sad, some mad. We got the red meat for them too. Yeah, we got some. We do have some. Okay, and of course I'm disappointed. Your country is in trouble. Okay, I just want you to, your country is intellectually in trouble when you have to go to the Supreme Court and fight about should a man 6'2" who calls himself a woman, and people always getting to me about bringing this up, and I said, well, you know, if you cannot understand the basic premise of the species in which you are, there's not a doggone thing you can tell me. You can't lead me anywhere. You couldn't even lead me to the toilet. Okay. If you're really telling me that you don't know what a woman is, and a woman answers a question like that, and then that idiot, the governor of Minnesota, was in front of Congress the other day, or Senate, somebody said he didn't understand the question. He didn't understand. These are the people that we have put in charge of some of the most important offices in our land. So, what I did last night, I did some exhaustive study, some penetrating study on a couple of things. And this is what I came up with. In 1920, the definition of gender was male or female. And now here we are in 2020. 2020, 106 years later, we have changed the definition of words, and by changing our language, we are changing our country. We are experimenting with our language in this country for cultural biases and ever changing political ideologies, which is another reason we have the proliferation of private schools and the eradications of the public ones. See, this is why we are messed up. Okay, let me say that one more again. One more again, so you get this. We are experimenting with the language of this country for cultural biases and ever-changing political ideologies, which is another reason we have the proliferation of private schools and the eradication of public ones. Okay, because that's where we are. Okay, you know that that's where we are. Okay, and it's a shame. In 1920, gender. Okay, this it was the definition. Let's see, I got it right here for you. 118. Well, we're not. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, about 106 years ago. This was the definition. This was, and so you can see it on the screen. This is the definition of woman. Excuse me, of gender. Okay. See, this is the definition of gender. Primarily meant biological sex, male and female, or male or female. So therefore, we're changing our language, and I can't say this. I'm probably the only person that ever heard this in the country say this. We are experimenting with our language in this country for cultural biases and ever-changing political ideologies, which is another reason why we have the proliferation of private schools and eradication of public ones. So if you don't hear anything else I said today, this is why we're begging for money all the time with public schools, because we have gone out of our stark brain mind. Okay, we have. I mean, we are at the Supreme Court of the United States, which I think they ought to change the name of it. Hell, ain't nobody supreme. But the top court in the land yesterday, we are having a discussion whether a 6'2" man should play in a sport field with 5.2 or 5'8" women, and not believe that man, which is still a man, will not have a dominance in that sport. That female team right there will win all the time. Okay, I'm just saying we are messed up. We really, really are. Okay, I mean, again, and people say, "Well, why you always bring it up all the time?" Because it's like I said, if you're on Interstate 85 headed towards Tuskegee, and all of a sudden there's an accident on 85 before you get there, you don't believe that you're going to be affected by the accident up the road? Up the road. You're not even near matter of fact, you're so far back in it, you don't even know where the accident is. But the accident is affecting you whether you know where it is or not. All you know is traffic has come to a standstill. The mental capacity of our young men and women, the ones in public schools for the most part, and I'm not blaming anybody in public school. There's a metamorphosis in America right now. Some Chinese guy was on the internet last night telling us how stupid we were, and I couldn't on the things he said. Hell, I couldn't even disagree with him. Okay, I couldn't even disagree with the guy. Well, okay, I hear what you're saying, but there is a metamorphosis going on in America that we, if we're not lucky, and the good Lord says, I'm gonna keep an eye on them, we are going to be the late, great United States of America. And it won't make a difference what you have, won't make any difference what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you live in. We are all going to be affected by, yeah, it's all going to be affected by our culture today, right? And it was interesting that the lawyer could not give a definite. Oh, brother, everybody knows what a woman is, but again, it's a political ideology. It is a cultural bias and a cultural metamorphosis where we want to make everybody in America stupid. Where's Albert Einstein when you need him? Where's he when you need him? Okay. And this is just not this. It's happening. It's happening. So people ask me all the time, well, why you always bring this up? Again, let me say this clearly. If you don't understand that there are male and females, which is the only reason why we are here today, because our mother and daddy got together and said, let's do it. Okay. And then out of that doing it came us. Okay. There has never been, there will never be a procreation process unless there's a male and a female together. There'll never be one. Okay. So now we can we can be stupid if we want to in America. And next thing we know, we're going to find ourselves like a third world country, intellectually anyway. And it won't make a difference. It won't make a difference what you have. It just won't. I mean, it won't make a difference what your position is. So unless we begin to fight the ideology and the ideology of people like these people, we're doomed. I mean, it's over. It's done. It's over. I feel like Rush Limbaugh right now. So I feel like talking the thing he used to talk about. We are becoming dumber by the year in this country. Not all of us, of course, because I'm still brilliant. But again, did you ever think that we would have to go to the Supreme Court of the United States so people could realize that men, just because they put on a tutu and cut off their wanger, which most of them don't cut it off because they kind of like it, but they just like the benefits. We got men and women in prisons now, and guess what's happening? Guess what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? In the prisons of America, where we put guys who call themselves girls, guess what's happening? All of a sudden, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. There are guys impregnating females in prison. It's a miracle. I thought this was a woman. I thought I thought this was a woman. So now we got prison pregnancies. And last I checked, no woman, no place can ever procreate with another woman. So that is why it bugs me when I have to deal with this issue, because people always talk about, why are you always bringing it up? We cannot go a day without somebody talking about trans this and trans that. And what does trans mean? It means going from one place to another. There is no such animal as a transgender. There is no such person, no such thing. The closest that comes to that, I think, is a starfish, because starfish can be female and male all together. That's the only thing on this earth that I know is a starfish that can actually do that. But there is no human being in America. There's no human being in America that can turn themselves from one sex to the other, one gender to the other. And it's almost an insult. It's almost insulting that we pay these people all this money at the Supreme Court, and they have the unmitigated gall, the temerity to even take the case. To even take the case. Because, and now think about this for 1 second. If all the people, if a male and a female were just the same, why do we fight so hard to put a female in certain people's jobs? Or you know why we fight? Put females in? Because even some of them are stupid. They want the responsibilities of lifting things that they cannot lift. Okay, like I was in the army. We had these cans of fuel, right? These cans of fuel. These 5 gallon cans of fuel are heavy. Okay, they couldn't even pick them up, but they wanted to be like the boys. They wanted to be like the boy. I had to throw one of them on the ground one time. I said, give me that. And I just, there's a difference in females and male. Okay. And you are an absolute damn fool if you can't accept that premise. You're not just a fool, you're a damn fool. If you really believe that a woman can turn herself into a man, even if she cuts off her breast and all that stuff, okay, transgender because they took the man and woman from the. I'm sorry. Nobody ever took anybody from anybody. Somebody may have left, but nobody took anybody from anybody. Okay. Again, there's no such thing as a transgender. No, there is not. Even if you cut it all off and cut your breast off and cut your wiener off, you are still what you were born because the chromosomes in your body tell you who you are and your DNA. Okay, and it's a shame. And people else always ask me, "Why you talk about this so much?" We can't go a day without hearing about it. We got people actually believing that a man is a woman and a woman is a man. Can we actually believe that they can transgender themselves? What a bunch of bullshit! I hate to say that, but that's what it is. That's what it is. All right, and I'm getting tired of getting insulted, having my intellect insulted in this nation by telling me things that I know are absolutely not true. And we're supposed to believe it. we're supposed to believe it. Like this whole thing about black folks can't be racist. That's a bunch of bull crap too. Of course we can. We are sometimes, depending on where we are. Okay? So the whole thing with the mayor yesterday and the guy, Fortner, his name, he's suing the city because he feels he been screwed by the Soul Patrol, and he may have been. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. So this is what I had to deal with all day yesterday. Your Supreme Court of the United States and lawyers and governors and people say, "Well, I can't really tell you what a woman is." Really? How'd you get here? I mean, how'd you get here? If you don't know what a woman is, did you come out of some man's butt on the way out? Is that the new birth canal coming through the booty hole? I mean, is that what it is? Seriously, I mean, so you're a booty baby? You came out the butt? Okay, last time I checked on the way out, that birthing place is called a vagina. Okay, called a vagina. That's you got to come through there. On the way out to the heavenly earth, you got to come through there. Now, when guys start having babies through the booty hole, then maybe we could talk about that transgender thing. But if it ain't coming out through the back, then it's coming out through the front. And the last time I checked, the only people who can come out through the front is a woman. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And there are a lot of other things to talk about there. I'm just saying, it just sickens me that we are experimenting with our language in this country for cultural biases and ever-changing political ideologies. It's a shame. We actually believe because we say it, that makes it it. Okay, and like the mayor, and just for intellectual honesty, I like the mayor. Yeah, I don't like that party he belongs to and some of his ideology, but I actually like him. I think he's capable of being a great mayor if he let go some of this, ugh, some of this Democratic stuff. He'd be perfect for me. He'd be a great guy. But he's a good guy anyway. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. But I have to tell you that I'm worried about our nation. I'm worried about our nation, and what are we protecting? What are we sending young people overseas for? And Maduro, and what are we sending my son? Why are we doing all this? What are we trying to say? What are we trying to protect? The right to be stupid? And is that what we're trying? Are we trying to protect the right for us to be stupid? Because if we are just doing that, then I don't assume that we need to, I don't assume that we need to. Okay, here we go. And the C-section still comes through the front. Okay, there are some women. See, and again, I'm gonna dog my friend here because he's a military man like me. But he's a Democrat, and that kind of screws up the whole military thing. But there are always medical issues because of us, not because of God, but because of us, that require us to do some things that are not normally done. A C-section. Now, some women want to have a C-section because they don't want their, well, their thingamajigger. Um, they they don't want their thingamajigger, kind of messed up in there. They kind of, they want it, for lack of a better word, they want it kind of, nice and tight, and I understand that. That's good. So, but that's not changing their gender. Okay. That's not there's some babies that come out too big sometimes to come through the natural birthing way. But they still are being birthed by a female, not a male. Now you show me a guy that needs a C-section to have a baby, we can have this conversation. Okay, we can have this. Yeah, we can have that conversation. Okay, but until then, okay, until then, okay. Uh, and the governor stated, listen, it sounded like any state of the state I've often heard. I mean, nothing special. It was interesting that she did bring the young man up who's out there doing stuff for people, um, of his own volition. So that's good. Again, though, it's like anything else. We have lots of people who don't make the newspapers, who don't get all this adoration. We have lots of people, and I can name some right here, and it will take me all day. Of people doing good things for people. Okay, so ah, really boring. It's not a boring topic. Okay, it's not a. If you can't, but it does change the math. Wait a minute, delivery is not what's important there, Mister Horace. How it got there is what we're talking about. Okay, okay. You can't put semen in somebody's back door and expect that to come out with a baby. Okay, that ain't gonna happen. Okay, you have to be a female with female plumbing in order to carry a child. Um, you know, this is an issue: automatic death penalty for any crime involving sodomy of children. The death penalty is a serious thing. You don't get to undo it once it's done. You don't get to undo it. I would be very very careful of using the death penalty. I'm not for the death penalty. What if we find out that he didn't do it? We have therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists who will convince people that they were attacked or misused by their fathers, who it never happened. Then we come to find out that it never happened. Okay, so the death penalty is a tough one, and we always put the kids in it. Then that thing is supposed to make it all right. I'm sorry, it's not all right to me. To me, it's like just like abortion. I can't. I know sometimes it's necessary if the life of the mother is at risk. Then and that's the only time that I would say, well, I don't still don't like it. But if you're gonna use it and for the life of the mother, then so be it. Um, but there have been too many instances in this country where people have been accused of doing something, and it took them 37 years to figure out that somebody lied. So, do we really want to have? Do we really want to have that on our on our minds? Do we really want to have that the responsibility for killing somebody because somebody said some mom who was getting divorced or losing her man to another woman comes out then and says, "Well, he was messing with the kids." Okay, yeah, I don't know about the death penalty. Um, yeah, because And truth be told, what about the sodomy that's going on in our prisons? I mean, what about sodomy and rapes going on in our prisons? And we know they ain't women. So I don't know. I don't think the death penalty is the answer for everything. I don't think you ought to get the death penalty for. Now, if you give somebody drugs and they die from those drugs, I don't think you need the death penalty. But I think you do need to be charged with manslaughter or a contributing factor to that person's death. Okay. Willie, unless he's yeah. Anyway, Kevin, I was only pointing out that there's a different ways of sure, sure, but not through the back door. You ain't gonna get him through there. The only way you're gonna deliver a baby is through the front door. And if that's with a C-section, well, that's still the front door. Last time I checked, we ain't had nobody ever be born through the booty hole. Okay, I'm just saying it's not happening. Okay, that's a place for only other certain things happen, but having a baby out of it. Although sometimes I got to tell you, when you think you're pushing a baby out, but that's not it. So I'm going to leave that alone. But anyway, yeah, okay. I'm just saying we are in a certain place in this country when we think our Supreme Court, the supremest court in the land, has to spend time with idiots, and some of them are idiots. Okay, like Katani Johnson, whatever the hell her name is, she's an idiot. Just goes to show you, hell, I probably could have been a lawyer. I mean, looking at some of the rulings that are made now, I think I could have made it through that law school thing. I might still try it. Okay, I'd be like my main man who went to law school at 50 years old, became alerted. He worked. He was in Montgomery. Nicky Rothschild, was it Rothschild? I think that is his name. Nicky. I think he passed recently, but a great guy. Used to own a photography thing, a camera thing. Anyway, that's why blacks wear their pants around their ankles to say they are available. Well, I don't, what a man does with his ankle or his butt is on to him. I'm just saying the idiocy is actually telling our kids that there's such a thing as a transgender. It goes against nature. It goes against biology. It goes against common sense. And it's an outright lie. Okay? Because if you were a transgender, you wouldn't have to cut off your wiener and you wouldn't have to cut off your breast. If you were. Because it would be something that is automatically happening. And it isn't. God made he and she, not shim and him. Okay? I'm just saying. But anyway, so much for that. I just because people are always getting at me about, well, why are you always bringing this up? Well, I'm bringing it up all the time because they keep bringing it up. They keep trying to convince us that we're stupid and that we actually believe that a male can turn himself to a female and a female can turn themselves into a male. It's an insult to the good Lord, to tell you the truth. Okay, it's not a trick question. See, and that's another problem right there. How in the hell can it be a trick question if we ask you what a woman is and you're a woman? How can that be a trick question? You see, Democrats do this. They again, they're trying to change our language. A trick question. Oh, what's a woman? That's a trick, ain't it? I know you know that. You know that's a trick. Well, how can that be a trick question? Really? Really? Okay, it started already. And if Ketanji Brown, whatever her name is up there, thought that was a trick question, she belongs a lot of places, but not on the Supreme Court of the United States. Okay, another Biden or somebody's whoever put her. I was it Biden or about one of them, whoever put her up there. Another DEI. Okay, another DEI appointment. Because I personally think that she doesn't have the intellect. I don't care. Listen, just because I know a bunch of people in Montgomery who have finished law school and some of the dumbest people I ever ran into. Okay? So don't tell me because you finished law school that makes you exceptionally intelligent. Listen, with AI and all these things now, listen, I'm sorry. No, I apologize, but I just don't see it. Okay. What did you expect? I expected I didn't expect her to be this dumb, not to answer the question. But when her confirmation hearing was going on, when she sat there and lied about she didn't know what a woman was, I was done. I said the Supreme Court is going down the tube, and it is. And listen, now don't get me wrong. I don't think Trump has put the smartest people either on on his cabinet either. I thought he was going to do a hell of a lot better job um, than he has done. And one of the people that I'm still trying to figure out that who's the medical guy that when doesn't have a medical degree, but he's wants to get rid of he wants to get rid of vaccinations and things that way. And I'm the old time out. We don't want to get rid of all the vaccinations now. We kind of it's been working. Now the only vaccination that I find troubling, and I listen. I didn't have a DEI job. I went up there and fought for that job. I didn't have a DEI job. And you can't lose what's not yours. So was I disappointed? Sure. Everybody would 24 years in a job at the same place, and all of a sudden one day you wake up, bam, it's gone. Hey, listen, that's the way that's the way life is. That's the way life is. And I tell you, the nice thing about getting older is that you realize these things. You realize these things. Okay, that's the way it goes. Like Malcolm said, if you don't own it, you can't claim it. Well, I didn't own it. I don't own Cumulus. Okay, and they still gave me an opportunity to work there for 24 years, which is pretty good. I had to go sometime sooner or later anyway. If she had answered the question, she couldn't hear the case that had been before. Everybody knows the cases that are before the Supreme Court. You don't think they already know? Seriously? You think that's just an excuse that lawyers hide behind so they don't have to answer the question to the public that pay them? Okay, they already know. If I know about the case, they know about the case. Okay, so let's not be stupid. Again, they changed the language. Okay, but Horace, I'm not totally and I'm not totally in disagreement with you. But I think he got a couple of people that are pretty good. But he got some nuts on his cabinet too. So I am mad at him. What about others that lied and said Roe versus Wade was settled? Um, what about the others that lied and said Roe versus Wade was settled law to get on the court? They lied too. If they got on the court and supported it, then they lied too. But I don't know who said it was settled law. I mean, and again, it's one of those things they have to say to get on the court. Okay, and obviously it wasn't settled law, was it? Of course it wasn't. And as long as that Supreme Court sets up there and overlooks and oversees cases, they can undo any case up there they want to. It's like your boss when he says you're fired, he can bring you back if he wants to. That's up to him. Yeah, a lot of people lie. A lot of people lie because they want to sell their soul for a job. Okay, it, if that's the case with Justice Brown, Clarence Thomas mostly definitely did not supposed to be on the team. And listen, he doesn't necessarily strike me as a individual who's willing to fight for what he believes. He seems to Clarence Thomas. I'm somewhat disappointed in some of the saying. He sits there for 30 years and not hardly ever say anything. We don't know what he's thinking. We don't know anything. He just sits there, and that's cool. That's his job. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure Justice Clarence Thomas um, is all that conservative either. But I will say one thing about Justice Clarence Thomas. I think he tries to stay within the bounds of the Constitution. My problem with these guys is that they have their view of the Constitution. I think the Constitution is settled law. Don't you think so? I think it is. But it keeps changing depending on who's on the court. I mean, how in the hell they ever got abortion should be legal from a case about privacy? I'll never know. The Supreme Court surprises me all the time, and I'm looking at the Bill of Rights, trying to figure out where the hell that right come from. Where did that come from? Okay, I ain't in love with Trump, but given the choice, if they gave me the same choices that they gave me last time, I'd still vote for him. That don't mean I like, me. Listen. Me and my mama didn't get along all the time. Okay, so just because I take out a couple of things, sometimes you got to take the lesser of the two evils. Sometimes you just do. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know that to be so. Anyway, good morning, Tanya. I don't know if his whole administration is corrupted. I can't think of. I cannot believe there's ever been an administration that don't have corruption. That's all of them. The Bushes, probably George Washington too. I can't think of anybody. As long as you got human beings involved in it, something is going to go awry. Okay, something is going to go awry. But again, my whole thing this morning was we experimenting with our language in this country. Okay, for cultural biases and even changing political ideologies, which is another reason why the proliferation of private schools and the eradication of public ones is in effect. Because we have got away with logic, we've done away with reason, we've done away with common sense, we've done away with a lot of things that most of us know. And this transgenderism, first of all, if there was such a thing as transgenderism, I'll shut up. If there was such a thing as a man can change himself to a female and a female can change herself to a man, listen, ladies, just because you get a short haircut and wear men's jeans, don't make you a man. Unzip it. Let me see it come out. Okay, they'll make you a man, and now they call them something else. Now they call them studs. they call them studs. I'm sorry, you are still a female with a desire to have the masculinity as a man. And the good Lord took care of that. He gave you less testosterone. And now we got people taking testosterone shots so they can grow hair. Listen, if you were what you say you were, you wouldn't have to take all this crap, put it in your body, and eventually will damage you because it is not meant for you. So, but listen, while you're young and you can be dumb, I just hope some of these people won't turn dumb. And a lot of these guys we've had, and what we're not hearing is some of the suicides that are done by people who thought that they wanted to be something that they were not, and they cut off their wanger danger, and all of a sudden now they look down, they're looking for it, and it ain't there. It ain't there. So a lot of people, there have been a lot of suicides. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so much for that. I just had that. Oh yeah, studs and bull daggers. I don't know what. I think we used to call them dykes on bikes, whatever the case may be. I mean, man, do you know? Do women understand what a great position it is to be a woman? You get people to pay your rent for you. You you get people to open doors for you. If you carry yourself like a woman, like a lady, you get to borrow money and not normally have to pay it back. Listen, there's some advantage to being a female that men just don't get. It could be raining outside, it's cats and dogs. We're gonna stop and pick up the lady because she got a bag in her hand, especially if she got a kid. We're gonna stop and pick her up. The brother, we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna throw some water on him. Okay, should have got a car or something like that. So that's just the way it goes. Decorum has left the building. Well, maybe so. But again, here's the question that everybody and all these not Trumper people. Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question, Tanya. Here's the question that most people don't want to deal with. Most people don't want to answer this question because they would have to reach a certain conclusion that they know is logically and reasonably sound, but they won't admit it. Why? And anybody out there can answer this question. Why do you believe that people like myself and other people who voted for Trump, not only once, but twice. Why do you believe that we put a man in office who had never held it, put him in the highest office of the land, who had never held a public office in his life? Why do you think we did that? So if you can answer that question, then you'll understand why we voted for Trump. Okay, think about it. Why do you think we did? We're not stupid people. We got a little intelligence. At least I got a little bit. We don't want our country to go down. So why do you believe we voted for a guy by the millions? Why do you think that happened? Somebody answer me that question for. And then you'll find out, and then you'll know, okay? Then you'll know why he made it back to the office. Okay? Oh, here's a poll for Democrats only. Can a man become a woman? Yes or no? Yeah, I like to hear that myself. Low IQ. So okay, so Eric, wait, let me get this right. You believe that over 77 million people have low IQ. That's 1/3. That's 1/3 of the people who live in the United States of America who have low IQ. Okay. Well, okay. Listen, that's what you think. I think we do have people that well then. Oh, Eric. Oh, let me ask you something, Eric. So, if we got low IQ because we voted for Trump, what do you say about the men who think that you can transgender? So what do they have? Is their IQ really low? I mean, so let me know. Come on, Eric. Come on now. Don't hide out on me now. Do you believe that people who believe that a male can become a female just by osmosis and because of his mind is gone? Do you believe that a man can become a female? Do you believe there is such a thing as a transgender? So, whose IQ is in question now? Okay, I'm just saying, And like the Greg says, can a man become a woman? Yes or no? Okay. Since we talking about low IQs here, since we talk about low IQs, then can a man become a woman? I'm gonna do that poll. Okay, that's all I want to know. So we talking about IQ. I mean, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for. Do I got a text here? Let me see. Do I get some texts here? I could give them some of these. That's why you don't settle for a job after they fire you. You don't have anything. Well, anyway, let me see here now. Let me see some of the great quotes here. Good one. Okay, then let me see here. Hmm. Oh, and anyway, you can't own something that's not yours. Okay, you can't own something without yours. So that goes to my texter. You can't own something that's not yours. As a matter of fact, there are very few things in life that you actually own. Okay, here's the guy right here. Okay, wait a minute. Here's Eric. Eric, one of us has a low IQ, and in this case, it's not me. Yes, a man can become a trans woman. You see this? See, I told you. What does the word trans mean? Okay, it means going from one place to another. And what does a woman mean? A woman means she was born a female that became a woman. Okay, so nothing you say from this point on, really makes a difference to me because obviously talking about low IQ, I'm just saying you're right there among us. Okay, you're right there among us. They got tired of the upper crust looking down on them. True, so they voted for a guy who is not cultured. Now, listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We voted because all of these Harvard graduates, all of these Princeton graduates, all of these Yale graduates, all of these people got us in a place, and along with one of the few last, Obama went to all these big schools, and they telling us that men can go to women's bathrooms. There's no such thing as a gender thing. Okay, so that's why. Okay, said okay. Now, Tanya, I'm with you. Okay. I believe you have narcissistic traits like Trump. I believe you see it with your own eyes and still think it's not there. You got to explain that to me because I don't believe something's not there if I don't see it. I believe Elon Musk, with the help of the Russians, stole the election. Okay, here we go again. Okay, never mind. That's about all I need to read right there. that's about all I need to read right there. So who stole the election from Trump when Biden was running? Okay, I believe Trump is a Russian. Whoo, Lord have mercy. Okay, well, listen, again, that's why we voted for Trump, because we have that kind of thinking like this out there. Okay, what would you rather be, culture? What would you rather be, culture or a billionaire? Well, now I do think you probably need a little bit of both. I think you need a little bit of both there, the Greg. I think you can have both. And Trump outside the White House, because we look at our politicians, we give them this grace, and we expect things of them that they don't even know anything about. So I do believe that we ought to get at least a modicum of culturalization in our president. But he's never been a public office holder. So I give him grace. He's never done. He's been a boss. He's never been a leader per se. He's been a boss. And bosses get things done because they tell you to do it because you pay them. And they're dependent on you for a check. So you don't have to lead them. You just got to tell them what to do. Okay. So again, and if I don't want to do it, I can walk off the job and say, to hell with this. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I bet you don't want to answer these vowels. Huh? Looks like Tanya. Looks like Tanya's mom ran out of vowels with the middle name. No. That's Lady DJ. That's what that means. Okay, that's Lady D. She's a good DJ and a pretty good one, as a matter of fact. But that's okay. I'm good with you. And again, we live in a country where people can have their own opinion, and that's all we're espousing today is people. Okay, now John says most of the people voted for Trump have low IQ and don't have a high school education and no college education. Well, what about, again, here's the question. So you're telling me we left people, we didn't vote for people with a high education. We didn't vote for people with a high IQ because we wanted a guy with a low IQ and no education. Now, Trump did go to, I think, Wesley some business school he went to, and we all know now that college is not necessary to be successful in America anymore. Only in the sciences. Okay, only in the sciences you need college because you certainly need a higher degree of thinking ability outside of high school if you're gonna be in the technology field. But going to school taking up psychology, or going to school taking up gender studies, or going to school taking up business administration, when all you got to do now is put something in AI. And so again, so we gave up all of those smart people. That's now the first time could have been the first time may have been a what we say on Star Trek. Oh, the first time could have been an anomaly. Okay, but the second time we voted for Trump absolutely on purpose. Now again, but you think we did it because we are low IQ, right? You think we're low IQ, and I say we because I voted for him again too. So what does that tell you about the people that you think with all these high degrees of education, all these schools, we told them to get lost, go stump dirt? Why do you believe that? And I want you to be intellectually honest. Why do you believe that a bunch of people by the million said, give me that guy the second time? I've had enough of the other people. Promises, promises, promises. And as I look back on it, I was listening to yesterday, I was listening to Mr. Clinton, who yesterday, day for yesterday, turned down Congress about coming and sit in front of them, and they're probably going to try to get him. I really don't care about the Epstein things. If it happened, it happened, and it's not we can't undo it. Epstein is dead, so I don't know what happened, but I do know one thing. I do know one thing. He was saying the same things a few years ago that the president now is saying. He was saying we need to get illegal immigrants out of the country. He said, "We are laws. We are a nation of laws. We are a nation of law, depending on who's following them." But Clinton and every president has said something about, and so we get mad when a guy comes in. Now I don't like the way he's doing it, but I understand why it's being done. I just don't like the process by which it is going on right now. Okay, so so we are a confused people. We like who we like. We dislike who we dislike. Okay. Now the first Bush, I kind of liked him. Okay. Second Bush, kind of a wuss. Yeah, kind of a wuss. Kind of a guy who just kind of weak. But as a man, I think uh, the last Bush was a pretty good guy, but he wasn't tough enough. Okay, he was not tough enough. He kind of. I think maybe he was going through that transgender thing. I'm not exactly sure. Okay. Let me see. I don't know who's called me. Hold on a second. Hello. Can I'm busy at the moment. Can I call you back? Uh huh. All right. Then. Mhm. Okay then. Sorry about that, but that was one of those what do you call those people spammer things. Whoever that was. I normally just sit there and hold the phone and don't pay me any attention. But hey, I had to do it. Okay, John Nettles, I have more degrees than you. That's good because they refuse to vote for a black woman become president. No, 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 we don't. We refuse to vote for that kind of sort of like black woman for presidency because I'd vote for Condoleezza Rice in a minute. I would vote for her. And to tell you the truth, this is going to shock some of you guys. I'd vote for, I think I would vote for Michelle Obama. I think she's smarter than her husband. Okay, I would have voted for her, and I like so it had nothing to do with a woman. It was that woman. There have been women in the history of mankind, like Margaret Thatcher. I love me some Margaret Thatcher. Okay, and I like Mother Teresa too. But Mother Teresa wasn't running for country, wasn't running for presidency. So it was that woman that we didn't want to deal with, not a woman. Okay, at least she didn't say she was like a man, so that's good. Okay, so let's stop with that one. They don't want to vote for a black woman. We don't want to vote for that black woman. Okay, all she could do is cackle and never really gave us a plan. Do you believe if she'd have put forth a plan, something that we could put our teeth, and that's what happened with Jackson Hospital recently. And just to give you a quick example, they gave Jackson Hospital a little bit of money. They said, okay, in order to get any more money, you need to write down your plan. Okay. They never wrote the plan. And therefore, Sankey and Harris said, oh, no, not only no, but hell no. We're not just going to give you more money so you can do what you want to do with. Where is the plan? Guess what? They came up with a plan. Okay. And they gave them some more money. But all we heard in the newspapers and stuff like that, well, Commissioner Sankey and Commissioner Harris said no. Well, there had to be a reason why they said no, because Sankey is a medical professional. So his job is to do no harm. I'm saying. So there had to be more to it. So that's the problem with the woman, whatever her name was, Kalamala, whatever hell her name was. She had no plan. Okay. She has no plan. Okay. Yeah, he might have a GED. John Noah might have more degrees than you. I don't really care about degrees. Degrees just something you pay for because they refuse to. I don't really care about people not having a Kamala. Oh, what's this about Kamala? Is a finesse. So you didn't like Kamala? Oh, fine. No, I didn't. I didn't. She's a good-looking woman. Okay, can I be totally honest? Can I be okay? Can I be totally honest about Kamala? Okay, but we knew he had no plan. We knew Trump. Well, but at least we knew what he had gotten done in his first time. But let me get back to Kamala. Now, guys, don't take this personal with me. Okay, but I'm just going to be totally intellectually honest here. She walks around acting like she black when she in the hood, but when she's in California, she was Asian. Now, I must admit, do you guys know that every woman that's in high office in this country, and I only know a couple of them, are married to somebody white? Now, again, I got no problem with people wanting to marry who they want to marry, but I must admit I'm somewhat prejudiced. I think a black woman ought to be with a black man. Okay, I do. Ketanji Brown is with a white guy. She was with a white guy. And nothing personal. I just don't. I just find it insulting. All these black smart men around here, we go get a white guy. I just that's just my preference. I don't necessarily cotton to. Am I discriminatory? Not really, but I just think you bypass your own to get somebody else's. I just found that to be interesting that Ketanji Brown married to a white guy, and what's her name is married to what's her name Kamala married to a white guy. It bothered me. I don't know why. Maybe because I know all the hell black men been through. And now when your women start going against you, man, you said you was a white man. And okay, now remember what I said. Back in the day, I said I was a white man, a black man, or a white man trapped in a black man's body philosophically. Because I do believe in the conservative philosophy. I think it is better for black folks than this mealy mouth, always complaining about somebody else, and that would be the Democratic Party. So yeah, I did say that. I didn't say I was a white man. I said philosophically, I'm side by side with them on the things that we need to do as people. Okay, what we need to do, we need to help one another. We need to not spend money. Like I had a lady come in my shop one day, and I had a computer for sale. And her complaint before she walked out the door, well, your computer's same as Walmart's. It's same price. And she walked out the door, and this is just one example. She walked out the door to go to Walmart. Okay? And so not only did I have to put up with stupidity from people in business, but it's just we're harder on each other than anybody else is. Okay, we got to play. We have to black people in business got 3 or 4 taxes. We got the state tax, we got the county tax, we got the city tax, the federal tax, and we got the black tax. Okay, The black tax. The black tax is what you have to give people off in your store when you want to buy something. If you happen to be black and I'm black, I'm supposed to give you something for free. Not everybody, of course, but too often, that's the way it was. Okay. So I'm just saying, so we always got to pay all these extra taxes. That's why we can't stay in business over 3 or 4 years. But she didn't steal the computer. That's right. She did, probably because she couldn't get it in her purse. So that's all I'm saying. We black business people catch hell not only from the other side, but we catch more hell from our side. So I don't. I'm up at Howard's yesterday. We talking about Prince is telling me that we have a responsibility to help all the kids. I don't happen to think so. I think we have a responsibility to help our own kids. I think we have a responsibility to raise them right, do what we can do by them. But I don't have the responsibility every neighborhood's kid in the community. I don't. As a matter of fact, if you do a good job with your kids, brother, you have contributed to society more than you ever thought. The kids are not running around robbing, stealing, and every day somebody. Yesterday, I seen a picture of 2 black men done shot 5 people, killed them. Just, so I don't subscribe to the village thing. I don't. I subscribe to your house thing. Okay. Come to talk about the state of it. Well, whatever. Stupid comment. Well, now which comment was a stupid comment? Because I do a lot of those. So which comment are you talking about? Okay. No, we can't be going again now. Now we can't. Greg, we can't have him. You only get 2 slices. You only get 2 bites at the apple according to our Constitution. So he don't get to run again. And tell you, quite frankly, I don't want him to run again. I like Vance. I think he's a good guy. He is the epitome of what America's all about: being born poor, being born with nothing, but having the motivation to be somebody and to do something. Yeah, I'd vote. I'd vote for Vance unless somebody else comes on. I mean, I wish there was a really smart black guy that's running. Because I would vote for a black man all day long. Give me somebody, not one who wants to tell me that a girl's a guy and a guy's a girl. We can't live with him. And not one who wants to let men run roughshod over women's sports. We don't want that. But other than that, though, I'm pretty good. We got your. All right, here's my nemesis. Yes.
I think Camilla was talking about that comment she made right before she made the stupid comment.
Oh.
That's the one with her name on it too.
Warning, keep.
Hey, is this a new format? See, I'm watching you on my TV now, and I'm able to turn you down and just play with the comments.
Yeah,
is that new?
I keep forgetting to put it out there, but it's yeah.
I like this because I don't have to hear what you say. I can just watch this. Hey.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. The first black mayor yesterday said that if the other side is crying or whining, you must be winning, right? Didn't the first black mayor say that?
I can't remember everything he said.
You don't even listen to what he says, do you? You just think of the next question that gets his ass. But anyway, he said that. So I guess Willie Durham, that means Trump's winning. So you crying about him every day. Hey, yeah, but what's amazing about this stuff? I find it funny as a dickens, really, with the comments and stuff. It's amazing how many people that don't have nothing call somebody stupid. What? Ain't that a little bit crazy? Hey, I had to ride down Fairview yesterday. What happened to that $1 million car lot board said they were stopping him from building? You remember you showed him the picture and you were all crazy about it and everything?
And I thought it was a good idea.
It looked like he moved from one house to another house.
Okay, see, you worried about where he lived. He's got a business. He's got.
But he said he was going to build $1 million building back there. And they were stopping him. He showed you the picture, didn't he?
Well, again,
you were impressed by his picture.
Well, sure, but prices have gone.
Where is the building?
Well, what difference does it make?
When are they breaking ground on it?
I mean,
Looks like he just moved to another house.
well, you got to call him about that, not me. I mean,
he's always crazy about Fairview Avenue, and I just think it's wrong.
And I think if
for used car lots to be in houses, he wants to beautify it.
I can tell you, I think he's partly responsible that they are doing something to West Fairview after all 30-something years since I've been here, because he's always complaining.
What part did he do? I thought the first black mayor said that they got that money from the gay guy that was transportation.
Well, you talk about, somebody had to poke the bear, and he's been poking the bear for a long time about Fairview Avenue. Since what's name was in the
but don't be so down on transgendered.
What? There's no such thing.
Don't be so down on transgendered people. You might get somebody to share that apartment with you.
Well, listen, there's no such thing as transgender.
Who does your interior?
There we go. I don't need to talk to you. I'll let you go, but I do my own interior. Anyway, and why I need somebody to share my apartment? Seriously? Really? Come on, man. You sound like you need somebody to share yours. You're always bitter. Something wrong with you. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. And if you want to give us a call, you can do that. We do take calls, 521-2963. If you have anything worth listening to, we'll love to. Well, actually, I like listening to you even when you know. And the cult. See, people talk about cults. What is a cult? Well, you can consider a church a cult if you want to. Okay. Again, I go by what people believe, not who they are. We all have idiosyncrasies. We all have things that make us unique. Trump is a bombastic person sometimes, but that's who he is. We knew that when we hired him the second time. We knew who he is. Okay? So we're all different. I'm crying because everything has gone up. That's right. Everything has gone up. Okay? Let's see. Man, folks are getting tired of fed up with Trump beer. And they may be, but I'm not. I think the guy's doing a pretty decent job. I mean, so all that whining about what happened to the boat people. And here's another. Hillbilly is a racial slur. Well, we racist too. Okay, we're. I mean, black folks think they're not racist, but they are. Okay. Now, what does the word racist mean? It means when you think you're better than somebody else because of your color or your status. It's got nothing to do with where we think it is. We call everything. If you disagree with me, you're a racist. Okay. If you talk about me because I'm a butthole, you're a racist. Now, that's not what the word racist means. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. Now, anything. Now, let's go back to something. Now, they did say that the Supreme Court seems likely to uphold state bans on transgender athletes in girls and women's sports, which I think they ought to. Again, there's that word again. That item does not exist. There's never been a male or a female to turn themselves into the other sex. Don't forget, tomorrow we have, who we got coming on tomorrow? We got Yolanda Flowers, who's running for governor of the state of Alabama. This is her second time around. We'll see what she's got to say about it. Now, the Supreme Court on Tuesday appeared ready to deal another setback to transgender people, at which there's no such thing, and uphold state laws barring transgender girls from women sports and playing on school athletic teams, which makes sense to me. The court's conservative majority, which has repeatedly ruled against transgender Americans, which we don't have transgenders, okay, Americans in the past year, signaled during more than 3 hours of argument that it would rule the state bans don't violate either Constitution or the federal law. First of all, we're trying to figure out who in the hell we got a Constitution involved. Are we trying to protect a woman's or a men's constitutional right to be something that they're not? So anyway, it's a big legal fight. I don't even know why it's a legal fight. Okay. What question? What question you want me? What question you want me to ask her, DeGreg? What question ask Yolanda? But she'll be here tomorrow. So what question should I ask? I don't know. There's a lot of questions I could ask. Okay. In the Idaho case, Lindsay Hecock, 25, sued over the state's first in the nation ban for a chance to try for the women's track and cross country teams in Boise State University in Idaho. She didn't make either squad because she was too slow. Her lawyer, Kathleen Hartnett, told the court Tuesday, but she competed in club level soccer and running. Becky Pepper Jackson, a 15-year-old high school sophomore, was in the courtroom Tuesday. She had been taking puberty blocking medication and publicly identified as a girl. Didn't make her a girl now. It don't make her a girl. It's a fake girl. Yeah, that's why you got to take pills. That's why you take pills. So anyway, I hope the Supreme Court does the right thing on this one because this another dumb law, and only 3.3%. Okay, in about 2.1 million adults, or about 0.8%, and 724,000 people at ages 13 to 17, or 3% of the carry the identity as transgender in the United States. And according to Williams Institute, UCLA School. So we're going to change whatever we believe all these thousands of years because 3.3% of that population think there's something that they're not. Yeah. I'm with Tommy Tuberville. Let's keep fighting against mental illness. Because that's what they have. They have mental illness. They just not, And again, if you're crazy and don't know it, I feel sorry for you. But if you're crazy and you know you're crazy, well, okay, then we'll check that out. Anyway, now here's a story right here that you can find interesting. Are we done with that one? Can a man become a woman? No, we can't. We can't. I mean, why do we even, why do we even have the conversation? In Irvington, Alabama, I think it's in Mobile County, the man stabbed his dog to death for dropping poo-poo in the house. Now, I can understand getting a little angry at, you walk there and you smell, you feel something's warm on your feet. I can understand that. I understand that. But why we want to kill the dog for just doing the same thing you do? Okay, what goes in, got to come out. Frank Connolly, 22 of Irvington, is charged with aggravated cruelty to animals. Investigators say that they believe Connolly stabbed his dog, whose poor name was Belle, with a kitchen knife in the abdomen, puncturing its lungs. The dog died, and Connolly allegedly buried the family pet in the backyard of his home on 2 Mile Road. Investigators determined that he killing was allegedly motivated by the dog repeatedly defecating within the home. I don't know why you killed a dog when you didn't, when you didn't train him well. See, I don't like that, but I don't think he should go to jail for it. I think he should be made to work in a. He should be made to work for a little while in a. What do you call them places where they have animals? Whatever that kind of places like that. He need to work. He needs some appreciation for that dog. I don't like that at all. Okay, your guy got the majority vote on the Supreme Court. He has stacked the deck. Well, if stacking the deck means putting people with a high degree of intelligence and common sense. Now, if that's what stacking the deck means, I'm all for it. I am. Okay. Listen, man, I can read, but I got small screens. I'm gonna have to get bigger screens so I can make the text bigger. I get bigger screen. When will greedflation go down? Hey, I'm with you on that one. You don't say too many things that I agree with, but greedflation is on us right now. It's on us right now. Although I did go to a club the other night, a couple of nights ago. I ain't been to a club in 30-something years. I did go to a club the other night. It's called the Rooftop downtown. And so I figured greedflation, if you're going to have greedflation any place, it was going to be at this club, right? I just went up there just to see what it's like. I hadn't been on top of a roof in a long time. And I helped me up. I don't know what happened to the student of the week there, my friend. I can't find it in the paper anymore. Okay, we're going to do our own student of the week. Okay. Anyway, so I go to the club and I don't drink or anything, but I didn't want to I didn't want to act like I was an old man loitering in the corner. So I went up to the bar. I said, "Hey, give me one of those." Oh yeah, it looked good. It looked good, 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 good. Now I wanted some Hennessy, but since I've never drank before, I would never get out of the I never get out of my parking space if I drunk Hennessy because I'd probably be drunk as a skunk. And my first test of alcohol, I'd be going to jail for DUI. So I got to thinking about that. I'm gonna leave that alone. So I went back up to the counter after I walked away and said, "Hey, give me a big old Shirley Temple." And I figured it's going to cost me $10, right? $10 for a Shirley Temple, but to my surprise, it only cost $3 in a nice place. So I'm telling you, it's a place on. Yeah, I don't know exactly, but it's right downtown next to the alley. It's called the Rooftop, and it is on top of the roof. Now I had to get down because when I looked outside over the roof, I got dizzy. So I didn't want to fall off the building. So I just left. Okay. After about 8 minutes, I was gone. But all I could think about was me falling off yeah, me falling off you know, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean, the Greg. Am I going to answer the question about a woman? I think I will. Yeah, I am going. Just, okay. And if she doesn't answer the question, then we know that's not the person for us. Okay. Now, I do believe if you ask Kay Ivey that question, I've never been able to because the people never set her up for interviews when I was at AC, when I was at Cumulus for all those years. She never came down. Okay. So we going to see. I'm going to ask her the question. Okay. What is a woman? Okay. Okay, we can leave that. Yeah, that's good. I think that's a fair question. Anybody that's on the Democratic side who can't say that a woman is a woman. She's born with woman parts. She grows up. She's born a female. Okay, she's born a female. She grows up to be an adolescent. Then she grows up to be a young lady, and now she's a woman. Okay, yeah, I'm going to ask her. Thank you very much. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I'm noticing your views are yeah. So what we are doing here, we're just see this is the only place in town where you can actually use common sense. See, common sense is a forgotten thing. Okay, okay. We just what is on? I got you. Yeah, we're gonna answer that. Okay. And did you have your Kango hat on at the club? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I had my old man hat on, like this right here. So they knew that I was an old man because only old men wear hats like this way. Now young folks wear them like this way. They wear them. What's up, dog? Okay, but I can't do it. Can't define a word using the word. Explain. Explain that to me because I'm lost. Ask her now, and you might become her brother from another mother. Well, she's not here now, but she'll be here tomorrow. I think she's coming at 7:30. I think something like that. Yeah. So we're going to talk to her tomorrow. The woman who wants to be governor. This is our second run, and I wish her luck. But now she's gonna have to answer the question though. Somebody's gonna have to answer the question. What is a woman? Okay, and if she supports men and getting involved with women's sports. Yeah, I got to write that down. Absolutely. Anyway, what else is going on in the news right now? So the guy kills his dog, unfortunately. Hey, Greg, listen, trying to read and talk at the same time, it's kind of hard. Okay, I'm just saying. Secretary of State Allen identifies counties with illegally registered non-citizens and reveals where illegal voting has occurred in Alabama. And here's one I don't know. I hope this had something to do with Mercy. A 90-year-old Enterprise man charged with murdering his wife, and she was 85. Maybe he did it because she was sick or something like that. I mean, why would you? I mean, and when you say, I mean, why would you do that? Y'all been together a long time. Why'd you get? Unless there was some, I got to look into that story. Okay. Also, Claudette Colvin has passed. Claudine Colvin was one of the first people to stand against the buses, but at that particular time, she didn't get much. She didn't get much out of that because she was at that particular time was 15 years old and in a special way. So she never gave. But evidently, she was the first woman, the first young lady who said, I'm gonna get off the bus for when I'm sitting where I'm supposed to be sitting. First of all, you put me on the bus and took me along. I didn't know that for years that that Rosa Parks was actually sitting in the black side of the bus. Now, white folks can't have it both ways. You tell the folks to go in the back. And then when you can't get a seat up front, now you're going to come to the back and tell them we got to go someplace else. What, we're going to ride on the top of the bus? That was back then. No, so I ain't getting mad at it no more. That just but she was the first person to do it. Okay, I don't think history has been too kind to her. Rosa Parks got all the and not that she didn't deserve, but Claudette Colvin was the first person to not surrender a seat on the bus for somebody white. Right on. She had more gonads than most men did. Most men do. But anyway, and again, I didn't realize that. I really didn't realize that that Rosa Parks, was sitting where she was supposed to be sitting on the bus. But some Yahoo gonna come back there and say, "Hey, I need to sit down." I did the same thing she did. Well, I don't know what I did. They took a brother off the bus and started beating the hell out of me. So I may just shut up and just got up. I ain't gonna lie to you. Getting beat hurts. Black police chief in Auburn, Chief Cedric Anderson, announces his retirement, and the assistant chief, a white guy, takes over. That's good. That's what I'm talking about. That's equal stuff right there. So that's good. All right then. Now, let me tell you guys something. Y'all always getting on Trump. Let me tell you something. Did you know that ABC has paid the president $15 million to settle a defamation case on Trump? CBS has paid him $16 million for the same thing. Meta, Microsoft, who owns Meta, paid him $25 million because they censored the president's social media accounts. So altogether, how much is that? 25, 35, 40. They have paid him almost $50 million because even because they had the ink, they think they're just going to do whatever they want to be. That's why we don't know the truth about some of the good things Trump has done, because they censoring him, they messing with his accounts, and so he got $50 million out of it. Okay, but you ain't heard about that on the regular news. Hey, of course not. ABC, $15 million. CBS, $16 million. And Meta, $25 million. So if he wasn't a millionaire, he won. He certainly won now. Anyway, here we go. Now, let me get on. Oh, Doug Singleton. In case you guys didn't know this, Doug Singleton is going to be running for the State House of Representatives. The State Senate. And I guess he's tired of being our commissioner. I mean, want more money. You got to move up. So I understand. He is going to. I don't know exactly which one. I think it's going to be Barfoot's thing. And has anybody seen any of our black politicians walking around town or anything like that? Has anybody? I mean, I know we got some. Has anybody seen them? Okay. Has anybody seen Penny or Tashina? And there's one more. I can't think who that is. But has anybody seen any of those folks? Outside of election time, is anybody seen any of them? Oh yeah, we do see them. We see them when they come back and tell, "Oh well, we lost because there wasn't enough of us." Here is my my question to ask anybody in public office, especially in the city council. Especially on city council. We always complaining about the 5-4 advantage that the conservative side has over the liberal side, which liberals mean Democrat, conservative means Republican. All those we got a bunch of Republicans that have forgot what conservatism actually means. It means to conserve the good and get rid of the bad. Now, has anybody seen any of them? Anybody seen any of them any place? I mean, I know they're there. They're getting a check, $60,000 a year, or a little bit more than that now. Hold it. Siri, hey Siri, what do Alabama legislators get paid per year these days?
Okay, I found this on the web for what do Alabama legislators.
Okay,
Check it out.
Okay, you didn't hear the whole question. Okay, yeah, I got to talk faster. Okay, I got to talk faster hey Siri, what do Alabama legislators get paid per year now? Mm-hmm. Well, come on now. Can you give it to me? I think it's about $60,000. Okay, as of January 1st, 2026, Alabama state legislatures receive, oh my Lord, it's more than I thought it was, an annual salary of $66,659 or a 7.15 increase from the previous year. So they wrote a law, okay? They wrote a law where they would get a raise every year or every 2 years without having to come back to the people. You see, you didn't even know. Last time I checked, it was $60,000. Now they get $66,000 a year for a part-time job, and you can't hardly ever get them to talk to anybody. Okay, so I'm just saying, and the black legislators always tell me, well, I'm not talking about city council. I'm talking about the House of Representatives and state Senate. But here's my problem with my brothers and sisters of the same melon. We always say what we can't do. We are like, remember yesterday, they're almost like those people, a wagon with cans in it. Makes a hell of a lot of noise, but not going very fast. So the cans make you think that you're doing a lot. Denzel Washington has a speech. He says, just because you're moving a lot doesn't mean that you're going anyplace. So just because we're talking a lot on one or two radio stations periodically, say they don't ever come talk to me. They don't ever come talk to me because I'm not going for the yokie doke. Show me what you have done. Show me a list of bills that you have put forth. Or wait a minute, better than that, show me the list of bills that you stopped. Because Alvin Holmes did say something one day that I never thought of. He said, sometimes it's important what you stop, not necessarily what you get past. Okay, so show me, I want our politicians to show me, the black folks who are always hanging on to the black thing, show me the bills that you stopped that would have done us harm. Or show me the bills that you put forth that would have did us good. Just show me. Show me something. Because I'm sure getting tired of hearing people tell me how bad they lost. How bad they lost. From the city council to the from the citizen to I don't have grievances. Well, I do have grievances, but not really. I mean, listen. And teachers only that's true. Teachers only get a 2% pay raise, which insurance, that's true, eats it up. But our legislators get an automatic 7-point-some% raise every year. A couple years ago, I thought they were at 60,000. Now they're at $66,000. They get almost $70,000 to work a part-time job, and all we hear from them is how they lost. Okay, so I'm just saying, we might want to we might want to talk about that. And another thing, and I just got to put it out here where people can get on it. Even the city council, the collective intelligence of all of our elected officials can't seem to convince one person on the other side that their cause is just. Just one. Just one. Just one. And the thing I didn't get a chance to ask the mayor yesterday that I forgot all about it was why don't we have buses that go out toward Hope Hall so people, our people, when I say our people, I mean the people who live in Montgomery, can take advantage of the jobs that are coming out there? Why can't we have no bus service out there? Okay, we have none. Okay, so why don't we? So we got people coming from all over the state, all over the surrounding area to get the jobs out there because they have transportation. Well, you know, as anybody in check, lady, if you go down the street without insurance, you don't have your car. And insurance keeps going up so much, people have a hard. I mean, you got to decide: do I want to make the insurance payment or do I need to make the car payment? Our public transportation in the city of Montgomery needs to be a whole lot better. And we've been hearing that it needs to be a whole lot better. Get smaller buses then. Use vans, whatever you got to get smaller things so we can take people. But people, the folks in Montgomery ought to have a right, ought to have an access to those jobs, those new jobs that we keep hearing so much about out there in Hope Hall and all them places by having city transportation go out there. And so I don't know. Maybe we can talk to the mayor again about this because I didn't get a chance to I forgot all about that one. Why don't we have, and I'll put this question out to the mayor, somebody tell him, we need bus service that goes to the Hope Hall place so people can get a job. Okay? We're doing that. Why would you give a raise to any teacher who's only 30% can read? Well, we've been hard on teachers for a long time. Okay? We've been hard on teachers a long time. Me too. But here's what we found. Teachers worked at the behest of the Department of Education for Montgomery. And those edicts come down, if they want to keep getting the money, those edicts come down from the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., because they hold your purse strings. That's why we let kids stay in school who are absolutely irresponsible, non-repentant, disrespectful. We let them stay in school because if they miss so many times a day, then you don't get the money. So we have sold out our teachers for money. So why would somebody go to school to learn that if they didn't want to do that? But they are tired of having to doing so many things. They got to become counselors, not the counseling stuff. They got to become counselors. They got to bring food because people are not getting anything to eat. I mean, now teachers used to come to our house. Back in the day, teachers used to actually come to your house and say, hey, why were you in school today? Which I like that. But they never had to come to my house. So I like going to school and lunch was good. So, but it is not the teachers so much as it is the rules and regulation by which they abide. Okay? It is not them. It is us. He says he's getting rid of the Department of Education. That's what he says. And I'm all for that. But again, the courts seem to intervene every time the guy is trying to do something that I think is good for us. Because the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. is a waste of money and resources. Okay, that money and research can go to somebody's school. But that's what he says. That's where, but I don't think they're going to let him do it. Okay? And I don't know, the Department of Education didn't even show up until Jimmy Carter. And it seemed like our kids were a hell of a lot smarter then than they are now. So I'm not going to blame the teachers. When you tell teachers their kids got to pass the test, all of them, so what do they start doing? They start teaching the test. Because that's the requirement in order for us to get money and let the kids graduate. As a matter of fact, somebody told me, now, again, let me clarify this. I am told, and I'll have to ask the superintendent, I am told that you're not supposed to flunk people in school. This came from a very reliable source. And I'm thinking, but I got to ask Dr. Z, because I'm not sure that this is true. Because he said you cannot give them a grade that gives them a failing. Now, if that's true, then why the hell they even got to show up for school? Why not just put them on the roll and say, "Hey, when you say Johnson here, hey, yeah, he's here." Again, this is what I heard from a very reliable source within the education system in the state of Alabama. So I don't know if it's true, but I will send him a text and see if this is true. Okay, because I just don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean, that would defeat the whole thing of having a school. But I am going to find out. I'm going to find out if that's true. Because if that is true, then we in a world of more hurt than I thought we were. Some people need to fail. Because let me tell you what failure does. Failure lets people know that at least you tried. And if you try a little harder, you probably can do a little better. Okay? So not letting people fail until they go put in a job application and they can't fill out. And I ran into somebody the other day said they ran into people in this city that cannot read. That is absolutely mind-boggling to me when we live in a place where education, at least public education, is free. We actually have people walking around Montgomery that cannot read. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about people 40 something years old. How can you not read? Which means you were born in the 80s, somewhere around there. How can you not read? How is that possible to live in America today and not be able to read? But there are people. And again, I'm not putting that on the school system. I'm putting that on everybody. How can you as a parent let your child get out of school and cannot read? How's that possible? But it is possible because it's happening. How's that possible? And if you can't read, forget everything else. Seriously, forget everything. Forget filling out an application. Forget getting a driver's license. Forget getting all these things that require you to read. How can people in this state, in this city, walk around not learning how to read? I don't. I mean, it's mind-boggling that we have people who cannot read, and school is free. You're not talking. Well, the state has something to do with the edicts and the SOPs that the county supposed to follow. As a matter of fact, in the state of Alabama, you can actually use corporal punishment on a child. But Montgomery, Alabama, they're not going to do too many women on the board. Just too many women. Too many women. They don't want to smack that little butt. And I wouldn't have a problem smacking that butt at all. Bam! Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I got mine smacked a few times. We good. Didn't kill me. Matter of fact, it made me better at least for about 20 minutes. So for 20 minutes after I get that paddling, I'm shutting up and I ain't doing anything. Okay. But anyway, so much for that. I don't know. Listen, I'm so tired of hearing learning disabilities. I don't know what to do. We have made enough excuses for our kids, and we are excusing them into poverty. We're excusing them into going to jail. We are excusing them to do all kind of things but to be successful. I believe if you expect more, you get more. We got more special needs kids today than we've ever had in the history of America. Everybody's got a special need. Well, hey, this may be news to other people, but every child that has ever been born has a special need. He has a need to be loved, a need to be taught and disciplined. Every child needs that. So let's stop with the making excuses for why some of these kids just need a BELT on that butt. Okay, that's what they need. Okay, but we won't give it to them because we scared of Shamika coming down to the school raising hell. What we do, we all had the police with handcuffs right there, so we can send both of them out. Okay, let's stop with the special need, the learning disability. Yeah, you got a learning disability because you haven't learned to read. That's why you got a learning disability, because you haven't paid attention to read. Okay? In Montgomery County, with all these women on the board, don't help us at all either. Okay, I'm hoping Dr. Z will really take charge and get some things done. But this learning disability crap, I'm sick of hearing it. He got ADHD. He got DDHD. He got me ABCD. He's got all these dysfunctions. Okay. Okay. So I'm tired of it. If you expect more, you get more. Helen Keller could not even see. And she was one of the most influential people in the state of Alabama at one time. Could not even see. I don't even think she could talk either. So listen, let's stop making the excuses for our kids and their parents who don't raise them. That's right. Wood is good. And the state of Alabama said you can use that wood, but most of these counties are trying to say not. And again, what are we seeing? We are seeing a proliferation of public schools or quasi public schools and the eradication. I'm just kidding, of private schools and the eradication of public schools. Okay, we are experimenting with our language, which now. Oh yeah. Listen, there have been scientists who told us in 1977 that the world was going to be frozen over. Yeah, they told by the year 2000 the world was going to be frozen over. Yeah, that's what they said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they said. Mm-hmm. Also, when Mount St. Helens blew up, you know what the scientist says? Yeah, I don't care if she was a socialist or not. She did learn how to communicate, and she learned how to teach. So, her her belief system. Hell, I'm glad she had a belief system. She had a brain to have one. Okay, so scientists, just because you put the word scientist by your name, doesn't make you right. Okay, I heard that when the Exxon Valdez ship went down in Florida in the ocean, they said the ocean it's dead, it's gone, it won't come back. Mount St. Helens, I'm watching Mount St. Helens blow up, right? In 1990, 80 or 1980, whatever year it was. And you know what? It'll never come back. The scientists said, it's over. It's done. Put a fork in it. Guess what? Mount St. Helens is thriving. So don't tell me about scientists. Scientists have been wrong before, and they'll be wrong again. Okay, they'll be wrong. So don't even worry about it. We good. I'm good. So we got to get the BS out of our language and get back to common sense, reason, and logic. Okay. Okay. And again, let me just tell y'all what the lesson of the day is. Here's the lesson of the day. Knowledge by itself is not power. It is the correct application of that knowledge. That's where the power lies. It's like being able to fly, but never learning to land. Somebody is going to be injured. Again, knowledge by itself is not power, Eric. It's not power. Okay? So, call, man, what the time go today? Yeah, Marty.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
Look here. It's a scientist. You're on medication, right? As many of us are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And scientists put us on medication, right? But I don't see you not taking it. Is the scientist wrong saying you need medication?
Trying to do what?
Is the scientist wrong saying that you need medication?
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying is, Kevin, the scientists are more qualified. They're more qualified than we are trying to second guess them. You know, and unfortunately, we're going to find out.
Wait a minute. Those are the same scientists that actually think that a male can become a female?
No, Kevin, those are the same scientists as if you're a diabetic and they tell you to take metformin or Ozempic or whatever you need to take, you're going to take to stay alive. They're the same scientists that would tell you if you need to take a Lodipine or whatever these other blood pressure medicines are to stay alive and not have a stroke, you're going to take it. I don't see anybody go around the second guessing those jokers. And if they do, they're going to live to regret it. Am I right?
Okay, so I just want to make sure I get it right before I get out of here. So those are the same scientists that told me that Mount St. Helens would never come back. Those are the same.
Kevin,
Wait a minute. Those are the same scientists in the 70s told us that the Earth was going to be froze over by now.
well, you know, a lot of people thought Noah was crazy when he said that a flood was coming.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking about Noah. We talking about the science. You talking
No,
about science.
love, Kevin. No, we're talking. It's still the same game, different players, Kevin.
Noah wasn't a
Same game, different
scientist.
players.
Noah was a man of God.
Kevin, what I'm saying is when you
Yeah.
got people like RFK telling you what to take and what not to take, and the Joker don't have a medical degree,
Mhm.
and he's contesting and combating a lot of these other scientists,
Mhm.
I'm saying that he's getting it wrong. You had the biggest measles outbreak in the last year than you had in 30 years.
But that's wait a minute. That's because of immigration. You letting everybody in
Kevin,
this
That's
country.
BS.
No,
And also, you even got a polio outbreak, Kevin.
because
You
of
got a polio
immigration.
outbreak,
Because of immigration.
Kevin. So tell me, well, how did Roosevelt get polio then,
People
Kevin?
come. Well, since then, we'd almost eradicated until we left the borders
Yes,
wide open,
no,
wide open
Kevin,
for everybody to come
Kevin,
in.
they're telling people that they're making vaccines unavailable, and they're telling people it's unsafe to take them. That's the problem,
I
Kevin.
know.
You can take it all
Wait
you
a minute.
want
Wait a
to,
minute. I know some people who died from the vaccines. So
Kevin, but I know. But Kevin, there are more people who survived it, and right now you're going to see more infantile birth rates with people dying because they're not taking these vaccines. These kids are going to get measles, and they're not going to be able to combat it because they don't have the vaccine.
Wait a minute.
The antibodies to do it.
I got. Hey, my time's up, but I got to go. But I can only tell you that a lot of this stuff is coming back because we have allowed everybody and anybody in this country. And I'm not mad at them, but some of these people come here, never been vaccinated for anything. And they come here and they pass that stuff along. Anyway, my time is up. Gotta go. Yolanda Flowers tomorrow, candidate for governor of the state of Alabama. Let's see. I'm gonna ask her about that woman thing. See what she said. She's a woman, and if she hesitates on answering the question, I know where you are. I got you. I feel you. Anyway, my time is up. Remember, it is not the fall that gives you strength. It is getting up each and every time you do. That's where the strength comes from. So I tell you, just keep getting up. Don't fall down and stay down. Fall down and get up. We won't always agree on everything, but I will agree that I won't be disagreeable with you, even Don. Anyway, see you later, guys. Have a great morning, and we'll see you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Bye. Okay, I had to take my song here right because I love this one. Me and AI came up with this.